Many people have a syndrome that I call passive lazy syndrome, and they are not aware of it. Let me tell you what it's all about. At different instances, we have some goals that we want to achieve, and then we might hit some roadblock or imaginary roadblock sometimes. But many people, instead of facing what the real problem is, they will rather face peripheral things, things that make them look like they are doing something, but they are actually doing nothing. They will make excuses and complain about every other thing apart from the real thing they are supposed to be doing. I'll give you an example. I've met a couple of people. Being in the digital space, I've met a lot of people that want to go into the freelancing space. Maybe they want to make money from Fiverr or from Upwork, and then they'll come to me and be like, I have issues setting up my payment system. How do I get paid? And maybe they try one of it, and one of them, maybe Fiverr also, ask them to bring a valid identification documents like an international passport or a driving license, and they don't have. Now they are going to hold on to that document that they don't have as the hindrance to them not making money. Meanwhile, they know that the real problem is not just that. The real problem is for them to even set up their account, optimize their account, and start getting clients. You've not gotten a client to pay you in the first place, but you're bothered about how you're going to receive the money. And then because of that, you anytime someone mentions it, that is what you're going to complain about. But that is not your real problem. Your problem is you are lazy to do the real hard work of setting up the account and creating a gig. I'll give you another example. Sometimes you see someone that is in a business, maybe a trade, and then they complain, nobody is buying from me, this business is not working, da 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 da. Uh, so they shift the problem to the fact that the location is not good. People there are not interested in what they are selling. Meanwhile, you know that the problem is the fact that you get to your store, you get there by 12 noon, and then when you're there, you gist around, you are not sitting where you're supposed to be, but you have an appearance of you are doing something. I am busy. I go there every day. Nobody is buying. They will shift the problem from their inability to be diligent. They will shift it to the people. That is what I call passive lazy. Somewhere in their heart, they might know that there's something they are supposed to do. Yeah, there's something they are doing wrongly, they need to change, but they don't want to admit it because it will be too hard for them to face and to change. So they would shift that blame and have an appearance of, I am doing something, I am active. And then when you see them, really, you feel like, of course, they are doing something. They have some motion going on, but in the wrong direction. So if this is the real problem, instead of them to apply their energy towards moving this, they will look for tiny things around, tiny things around the real problem, and be moving those things all around in different directions, but never move the actual thing that is the real problem. That is a passive lazy syndrome. This is another example. You are doing a job and you don't have sufficient money. No, it's the income is not good enough. You know that in this job there is no way you can scale beyond a certain amount of money. Even if you work for years, your salary cannot go beyond a certain amount. Now, what you should be thinking about is how to either pivot into maybe something closer, in that career, you add up something to it, or you do a different business. Maybe you learn a new skill. Yeah, you know that, but you're not going to take that decision. You're just going to tell yourself, I'm busy, I'm working so hard, oh, this job, and then you make the job itself, you now make it the reason, why you cannot do something else. That is being passively lazy. You can write documents, you can write things, or write all of the plan, document everything on paper. But when it is time to initiate all of those actions, nothing happens because you're passively lazy. And only you can diagnose this. Nobody can diagnose this for you. When you diagnose it and you recognize it, you have to make the decision to face your problem and deal with it squarely. And that is when you make the changes. It's just like when the Bible says, having the form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. So you have some motion, yes, something is going on, but that is not the right thing. And somewhere in your mind, you might know that yes, this is not the direction I should be facing. But these other ones, they give me that satisfaction. They indulge me and make me feel like I'm doing something, right? I'm just moving. But you're going to make far more results when you face the real thing, when you deal with a real issue. But because that will require more energy, and then you don't want to put in that energy. So, what do we say about you? We say that you're lazy, but you have a form of activity. So, let's say this is the main thing that you need to lift, and this will take you 100, energy, I mean, kcal. But there are other things that you can move that you just require, let's say, 1 kcal or 2. So you rather move all of those things, even though they are not in the direction of this, they are not contributing anything to your main goal. You rather do all of those things and frame different kind of problems in the world why this you're not going to do it yet. And this also ties with procrastination. So some people want to start a YouTube channel, you know, you say you don't have a phone, somehow you got a phone, and now that you have your phone, you say the camera isn't good enough. You keep on doing mentioning different excuses. But the truth is, the problem is not what you have or don't have. The problem is you are passively lazy. You are passively lazy to think about creating content, to take the phone, shoot the content, edit the videos, post them on YouTube. That is the actual problem, and you have to face it because if you keep going around those tiny, tiny things that give you an illusion that you are doing something, you will never achieve any progress in life. You just be like a man that wants to build a house and just focuses on the fact that the house needs to be done and spend all of his time marking and plotting where the rooms will be in the house, but never carries a block or even lays a foundation, just keeps drawing. When he draws the plan on the ground, maybe it will rain that night, and the plan will be wiped away. So, oh, my plan is wiped away. You go again and draw. When he draws, say, oh, I think I missed where the kitchen was supposed to be. This isn't where I kept the kitchen the last time. And then he starts bothering about that. Ah, oh, this is so bad. I want to get that initial plan. That initial plan is the best. I have to get it. Think, things. Maybe later get something that he feels is good enough. He draws it. And like, okay, uh, later I'm going to call a bricklayer, some engineers to start the building. But the next day, he comes again. He never takes any other step. Comes back to the drawing like, oh, a dog has walked over this place, and this plan is not how I drew it. I have to do it. Just keeps going around, just with the plan, and every day is like he's going out. He has a property, he has something that he needs to build, and he's doing something, but in the wrong direction. You will ask such person and you will say, this property you want to make, how much would it even cost? Do you have an idea? He has no idea. He has never consulted a civil engineer or even a bricklayer to say, okay, what would it cost to make this house? He's taking all of these steps, so many steps in the wrong direction. He's not facing what the real issue is. Why? Because even the money he has, Yes, he has in his mind, he likes the idea of owning a house, but he rather spends his money to eat and enjoy himself and have fun. He's not ready to make that sacrifice of putting the money into that project. But if you ask him, say, oh yeah, I'm doing stuff, making plans, but he's done nothing about it because in his heart of heart, he's not ready to part with that money to make that property. So he is passively lazy. Passive laziness is a Passive laziness is a big hindrance to success, and many people are not aware of it. So let me know what you think in the comments. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please follow this page. Thank you, and I hope to see you again in my next video.